I'm inside. This is weird. Hear the noise? Because I kid you not, I was like, you know, I gotta snake these wires. I'm gonna go ahead and do a video about that. And the second I did that, my lawn dude is, not that I have like a lawn guy. You know, company comes, cuts grass. He's weed eating outside the damn door. Like he came, it's almost like, you know, the zombies in the movie, they're at the door trying to get in. The noises of these videos are trying to even come inside my house now. Anyway, in a minute, someone's just gonna walk to the door with like a jackhammer. Anyway, I'm sorry. Gonna snake the wires today. I don't know how much I'll get done because I got work stuff too, but that's interesting. I was just looking at the way these mount up. So these bars I mentioned before, the miter cut jobbies, and they don't use a riser. So I was just having to notice that. They're threaded on the outs. Something that's weird. Can't figure out. They're not threaded inside. Okay, whatever. All right, so we'll figure that out when it's time to actually put them on the bike. But I'm gonna snake these wires. I meant something different when I was a kid. And how I do it is, everyone has their own way, it's their own preference. This is just the way I've done it a million times. There's probably better ways, but this is the way I've done it a million times. Guitar strings. So what I do is I take, because the end of a guitar string has a brass ferrule, and you just sort of like loop it around like a little noose and pull it tight onto your the wires you're trying to snake. In this case, it's easy because there's even a plug on the end that I don't have to snip off, and you just pull it on through. So let's get cracking. All right, I like my wonderful camera angle here. It's what I got, deal with it. So that's the ferrule I was telling you about that is hollow, so you can actually take the string and slip it through it, right? Woo, just fell out already on camera. Slip it through it, and then you just kind of pull tight. Make yourself a little noose, and then pull it real tight on that plug, and it's gonna be perfect. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. All right, so I'm just gonna use my knife to grab that and pop her out, just like that. All right, so pliers will work, and now I feel bad for using my knife because of any edge I caught on there. You guys know what I'm saying. Anyway, so I still got probably 6 inches sticking out the other end, so I'm not worried about losing my slack, but if I can just get a little bit of looseness here, pop the plug through, tighten it down. In theory, this shouldn't be, I was getting it halfway through without even snaking a guitar string last night, just feeding it through manually. So my experience is do both. Don't just push on one end or pull on the other, but I'm actually pulling on one end and pushing on this end. And I've hit a snag right on this mount thing that, like I say, is I've never used before, but come on now. Good thing is I'm not using the plugs. You know what I mean? Like if the plugs get damaged or whatever in this process, it's okay because they're getting snipped off anyway. I just thought the plugs would give me a good thing to grab onto. But I'll tell you what, whatever this bar mount thing is, it's causing issues. You know, like, what in the hell does that look like inside? So, to be honest, guys, this is not going to be a problem on a normal bar. And girls, because you're not going to have this weird hardware inside it. Here, I'll try and get it back on camera. This bit here is how this bar mounts because it doesn't use a clamp. I don't know. That's I mean, I'll get it, but this is just an unnecessary pain in the ass. It's just part of this bar. Let me just keep tugging on it. I'll be back in a second. All right. Well, I've decided to go ahead and snip the plugs off. That plug is what's not going to clear past the little whatever, this, you know, whatever you want to call this hardware inside the bottom of the bar where it actually mounts. It's just the plug is not going to get past it. So anyway, let me get some electrical tape and we'll get this done real quick. What the hell made me think that plugs will make it easier? I don't know. In my head, that was going to be like, oh, that'll be even simpler, but yeah, no. All right. So, oh man, I'll just redo the whole damn thing. Good Lord. I had such high hopes that this was going to be a mindless, easy kind of, you know, oh, these bars are no bends, no kinks, no nothing, but this hardware at the bottom where it mounts is, creating a challenge. So you don't need to see me tape wires to a guitar string, but I'm basically gonna wrap electrical tape around there, make it nice and snug and pull through. All right, there you go. There's the, not wad, but electrical tape. Put one of the wires through the ferrule, bent the string, and then wrap some electrical tape around it, which should give me better than the last situation where there's a big plug. Well, it wasn't that big, there's still a plug on the end. And then let's see if this goes past this ridiculous thing that I thought was going to be awesome and just turning out to be a pain in the ass. There we go, got it. So the plug was kinking on the oh, come on. Still, I mean, it's poking through, but it's not pulling all the way. What is, you know what I bet it is? Sharp edges on this frickin' thing, I bet. One thing I found on bars so many times, they're so messy inside the actual bar that jagged edges and shit like that, so. There we go. Look at the cut, yeah. I mean, there's obviously a sharp edge on this mount thing, whatever you want to call it, because it cut up the electrical tape pulling it past. Sorry you can't see that, but there. So it's just all jagged inside there. So, ape hanger manufacturers, clean up your parts, man. So there's a snake through. Let's go ahead and get the wire kit and extend them out. If you've never used one of these kits before, I mentioned on an earlier one that some of them there's a little like female pin, and you D-pin the factory plugs, and then you stick that in there. This case, you just solder them together, which is admittedly not as good, you know, but it's still correct. So what you got here is the extensions for either side, okay? That were in this package, and you just match up the wires. So they wire them the same as what you're gonna find in the factory. So this here has a red, a black, and then a red stripe and a black stripe that are spiraled together, and a single wire that has a gray stripe. So that is, let me see here. Well, this is a red and a black, and then a red stripe, white stripe. But I'm missing a wire on that one, so it's gotta be this one. There it is, right, so there you go. So this one is the red stripe, white, black stripe, solid black, solid red, and there's my gray stripe. So you can see they use the same correct wire as the factory, so you can figure out what it is. So a lot of you out there are like, yeah, I know. Well, not everyone who watches this channel does know. So what I'm doing now is pulling off the little pre-stripped tips here. I'm gonna strip the wire a little bit, which I forgot my electrical tool, like an idiot, go in the garage and get that. And then we're gonna use these connectors with my heat gun that are supposedly the latest rage, in that they're a soft rubber shrink tube, and inside the shrink tube in the middle is some super soft solder. So when the heat, it's hot, it's actually soft enough that a heat gun will melt it. I don't know about a hairdryer, I'm using an actual heat gun, so it'll melt your flesh off and put it in front of it. So it looks like, let me open these up, because I have never used these before. Some of you out there are like, yeah, dummy, I can't even open a damn box. You hear it? Son of a bitch. Anyway, looks like I'll be using these little guys. You can see there, you butt the wires in, heat it up, that solder melts, and you're done. I'm bleeding from the package, you bastards. Anyway, let me go get my electrical tool and get to work. So a basic question I think just thought of that someone might be asking is like, what is the whole overall thing here? The factory bars, not Heritage, I think are 12-inch rise. These are 19, so 7 inches longer. There's not enough wire. So the factory wires are long enough to go just through the bar, but it would end right here, which is not long enough to get under the tank and back to the plug. So I'm extending the wires. I mean, sorry, this is incredibly basic to some of you, but there might be someone out there going like, huh? So that's what we're doing, is we're extending the wires long enough to then meet the plugs under the tank. Things I think that everyone should own. Electrical tool, everyone has that. But have a combination set of heat shrink, you know, because this came with this. One little piece of heat shrink that, what the hell am I gonna do with that? So I have all different varying sizes. So I'm gonna use these connectors. I'm gonna use this nylon sleeve that it came with, which is cool. but I'm also going to use heat shrink over the connectors. I'm just trying to keep water out. So let me play with how this is going to work. So verdict on these, have patience. I mean, really. So when I first started, I was like, oh, it's not working. You know, it was melting through and stuff. It doesn't take as much heat as you think. It doesn't take as long as you think. And then let them cool because they stay soft for a while. So, I mean, once you let them cool, I mean, I'm tugging. I do that, man. I do a tug test. Like, is that some bitch going to come out, you know, down the road? Not the end of the world if I got a bad connection here eventually, because again, it's outside the bar. You know what I mean? It's not like it'd be in here, so I could deal with it. But the point is, that's the last one I just did. It's still pretty hot. But I mean, you can see the solder has melted into the wires. These little white bands tighten up a lot. So I mean, it's solid. So far, positive review on the TICNN. Ticon? TICONN? I don't know. It looks like it's weird. Amazon, I'll put the link down below. But it was like 20-something bucks for 400 pieces because I wanted plenty. But this might be my new way of soldering because I hate soldering. So it's an art. I don't have the talent for that. So so far these are working great. So let's go ahead and button up the heat shrink and then the little nut. Swear to God. All right. What's happening out there? Continuation of the video I started feeling like crap and put it away for a bit, but this morning after dropping off the kiddo, well, last night I did some more and then dropped off kiddo this morning and went ahead and did the brake lines and stuff. So I'm getting there slowly but surely. Like as I'm like, I gotta, you know, put it away, you stop and go hang out for a bit and the next morning tackle it. But here we go. So the bars are on. That is not really a one-man job. Feedback LA Choppers, which I don't know how else they can make it better, honestly, but there's these threaded female brackets inside there that are just kind of loose, and tightening them up is what makes them snug. And there's little Allen plugs in there just to make them not fall into the bar or this, that, and the other. You gotta take those out, both at the same time, to set them up there and get the bolts in there. As you can imagine, that's a dance. And this actually, I mean, the bar with the wires in it, that's it. It was just a bar with the wires on it. There was no, you know, controls or anything. It's not light, you know what I mean? So it's a two-man job, but I got it done miraculously somehow. Ran the new brake lines. As you can see, I am really pleased with LA Chopper's brake line kit. I mean, these stainless braided cables look great. The ferrules on the throttle cables are captive. It's not the whole like fall off, lose them, where the hell they go, that situation. You know, so that's cool. Yeah, so I mean, the quality of the cabling has been really good. Their wiring, I told you I used that heated connector thinger you saw in the video. Those work really well. I've already tested the wiring, it seems to work. I haven't gotten the starter to kick over, but I think it's because the sending unit's not plugged in. So, you know, until I do that, I don't think it's going to. But all the lights work, everything else that should work, the horn, all that stuff. So yeah, there's the bar. She's dirty as hell and whatnot. Got them kind of lined up where I want them. I'm still going to have to do a lot of tweaking. I have not bred the brake lines yet. As you can see, brake fluid had just eaten the hell out of these controls, and at the moment didn't want to spend another $400 on new ones. So I got this chrome cover from Kuryakin. I don't know. I mean, it's an improvement. Look, you can see where I scraped off the old powder coat. The mirror will go there and you'll be able to see that. But not a bad little deal. And in the same package comes with an actual chrome mount for the clutch. So it's not just a cover. It's actually, you know, the new chrome control. It's just a master cylinder side that it's just a cover for. Now the bike is sitting up, as you can see, pretty far off the ground right now. So of course it looks like crap right now. You're looking up at it. But I think when it's down on the ground, you know, that'll be nice. I have new switch covers coming tomorrow from Revzilla, so those will switch out. I also realized, here's all the things that I did wrong. Like, I don't hide that stuff, right? First off, I did a fantastic job of bleeding all of the brake fluid out before I was messing with the lines, so there wasn't brake fluid going on the paint and that kind of stuff. Got it all into a cup and then knocked the cup over and spilled the brake fluid everywhere. So I just can't, you know, there's always gonna have to be some, you know, Three Stooges moment. What else have I done stupid? Oh, put this together and then realize I have new covers coming. So like all this has to be undone. So, you know, the throttle cable's got to come out, which, God, those were a huge improvement. The old ones were so bad, but those are nice. So this has to come back apart. Not the end of the world, not that big of a deal. I also realized that I left the damn shoe out of the throttle retaining screw. So, I mean, you know, like, you're gonna do stupid stuff and redo it. The good thing is this is not my only bike. You know, this is gonna be a toy, so, and has been for years, so it's not a huge rush. But again, revisiting, the wheel's amazing. I'm really, really happy with it. The bars are pretty much exactly where I want them. I would have maybe liked a little higher, but again, these are 19-inch LA choppers, tree hugger. See, there's no clamp. Tree hugger, miter cut bars. Got them from J&P. The cabling kit I got from J&P. I think the bar's $350, so the cabling kit's another, I don't know. It was like $900, I think, for all of it in, shipped, taxes, whatnot, which I didn't pay for shipping, so taxes, whatnot. So I'll break that down however you want. It was like $900 for the bars and the cable kit. And a brake bleeder pump, because I'm going to one-man bleed those with a suction pump and brake fluid, you know, crap like that, supplies. So bars are on. Still got to do the clutch cable. Why haven't I tackled that yet? Because that's the suckiest job of all these, because the exhaust has to come off, because the transmission side cover has to come off. So it's a much bigger, you know, project than just the brake lines, which that wasn't too bad. Also, I remembered or realized quickly when I opened the package, I'm like, why are there 3 brake lines in here? ABS. Bikes have always been older that I've done, so the ABS situation, basically you have a brake line here that runs down to the pump, you can see there, and then another line from the pump that comes up to there, because this is a swivel. See how it kind of moves easily, so when you turn the bars, that swivels, see how that's moving? And then another line that goes from there down to there. So it is a huge pain in the ass compared to an old bike, which is just a brake line. So 3 lines and a fitting, put all that together. But one thing I'll say, LA choppers, the difference that I've seen versus the Burley kits and stuff I bought, which the Burley stuff's fine. I told you I like the way that female pin thing they do is cool. But the LA choppers kit comes with all new banjo bolts, 4 of them, all new copper crush washers. It comes with a new fitting, which they probably didn't have to. They probably could have said reuse the factory. This guy here, this chrome bracket, the fittings here, this guy here, get out of the way. It came with a new one of these, probably didn't have to. Look at the fittings that go on there, you know, real nice. So I will say the quality of this LA Choppers line kit, really good. You know, so for what it's worth, if you're gonna do apes on yours, I do recommend the LA Choppers, you know, wiring kit. It seems to be just right. It's maybe two inches long for what I need, but that's not that big of a deal. We went old school. I could order from J&P, you know, the line holders that go on the bars, but I went old school with a freaking bandana. There you go. That'll keep them stabilized. I've done that forever, so who cares? Next step is going to be, again, that horrendous clutch cable job to get that done. Put fluid back in the brakes and bleed them. Tank back on. Probably another day and a half, 2 days of my slow speed, lazy ass, not feeling well, bad productivity kind of approach to doing this. But there you have it. That's the Vicla Cholo bike, you know, as it is right now. Comment down below, questions, concerns, whatnot. Yeah, take care of each other out there. We'll talk real soon. Bye.